Good day. Good day. Let me tell you what I just did. I was literally talking for like 20 minutes and I noticed that my screen to my phone that I'm recording on, it kept dimming and I'm like, why does it keep doing that? Tell me why I didn't even press record. So this is take 2 of this video. So I apologize in advance if I seem a little kind of silly today. My goodness. I can't believe I did that. I feel foolish. But anyway, hi, it's me, Satu. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about tarot and basically anything else I want, but mostly tarot. I'm a tarot collector, tarot reader. I'm also a mental health practitioner um, and writer and creative, and I love all things artistic, and I am interested in my own spiritual pursuits and helping the spiritual pursuit and growth of other people. I'm not going to repeat that every video. But anyway, for those of you who may not know, um, February in the month, in February in the month of February in the United States is deemed Black History Month or Black Heritage Month. I myself am identify as Black or African American. And so I thought it would be cool because I don't know if I've done this before, but I think it would be cool to just show all of the Afrocentric decks that I have in my collection right now. When I say Afrocentric, I mean decks, both tarot and oracle, that center people of African descent through theme, cultural relevancy or cultural connection, imagery, and narrative. And so, what I really want to happen after this video is if you notice that there is a deck that is Afrocentric in nature and centers and features people of African descent that you did not see in this video, please let me know. I have set myself on a new mission to collect all of the things. Because I think it's very special when you have decks that represent um, marginalized communities. I think these creations have their own special stake in the history of tarot divination and spirituality, right? So let me know. I'm not going to show these in any particular order. I'm just going to see. I tried to gather all of them as I as I could, and so I'm going to just show you the cards as I see them. And the first deck that I have is a Majors Only Tarot deck. It is called the Black Power Tarot, and it's illustrated by King Khan, who worked with Michael Eaton, and they also consulted Alexander Hodorovsky, who is a major tarot scholar, specifically specializing in Tarot de Marseille. And what they did in consulting him is they created a majors only deck that follows the Marseille style, both in illustrative style and also the system of Marseille, but featuring Black artists, musicians, and cultural icons. So it's really cool. I'm actually because it's been a while since I um, have taken this deck out, so I'm like smiling as I see them. But it's really cool to see all the artists that you respect and love and revere. This is the Wheel of Fortune with the lives of Malcolm X. So um, oh, and this is the Star by Alice Coltrane, or the Star featuring Alice Coltrane. Sorry. Um, so just really cool homage, and I love how they kept like the Marseille style with like, the baggy eyes and the line work. Uh, so, and this is cool. This is the Death card featuring one of the lead singers from the punk band Bad Brains, which was an African or a Black punk band that was based out of DC in like the 80s. Y'all know who this is. Tina Turner, and Rosetta Tharpe is the world absolutely adore, absolutely adore. So yeah, so really cool deck. Not many people go for majors only, but I love majors only decks. I use them like Oracle decks, or I use them paired up with playing cards a lot because playing cards don't have majors and majors don't have minors. So I just combine them, and it's really cool. So I have to pull this out again. That's the Black Power Tarot. The next one is the Dust to Onyx. Dust to Onyx tarot deck. This was created by Courtney Alexander. This is the travel size edition, is what they call it. Um, and beautiful uh, rose petal finish, matte gilding, um, and just it. So I don't use this deck a lot. It's one of those things where I feel like it's really great to have in the collection, but I, I mean, I could read with it too. It's readable, but the art is just so precious. Like I've always said, it looks like something like this. This has probably been in a museum, like these paintings. And so what you see here is maybe like a mixed media kind of collage um, type. Um, of course, featuring African imagery, symbology, and it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't read with this at night because the cards are kind of dark in nature and in color and tone. Um, but yeah, what is this? This one's the nine. Yeah, the nine of blades. So blades are swords, gourds are cups, um, wands are staffs, and pentacles are coins in this deck. And the courts are Lil. So let's say if it's a court gourds is a suit, then the page would be Lil Gourds. Um, the knight would be young gourd, the queen would be mama gourd, and the king would be papa gourd. So I don't know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I do need to, I'm going to showcase this more. In fact, I'm going to spend this month um, putting out more spreads and readings on my Instagram channel, so you can see a lot of these cards and what they look like in a spread and in action. So I'm definitely gonna feature this deck. It just needs to come out more. It deserves it. This is the Dust to Onyx Tarot by Courtney Alexander. The next one I have, I guess I'll show them one after the other. This is Manzel's Tarot by an artist named Mansell Bowman. He is a digital artist, so he does like digital collage and illustration work as well. And so this is the first edition of the the Tarot by Mansell, and I like love this deck because um, I love that it is very Afro-futuristic in nature. This was also the deck that I did my first video on this channel on, like a full 55 minute walkthrough. And so I won't belabor it. I won't go back into detail about it. My feelings have definitely improved with this deck, I will say, over time. My purchasing experience of this deck was not fun. So it was hard for me to kind of emotionally connect to using it for a few months, actually, because I had the stink of the buyer's experience still lingering. However, you know, no shade, no disrespect really to Mansell Bowman. He's a wonderful artist. But I think it's a reminder that um, you know, if you're creating things and if you're an independent artist, you know, really having an understanding of like you're not just the artist now, you're the businessman, right? You're the business contact. And so what does that mean to be a good both a good artist and a good person with business acumen who can sell their decks and get them out to people. right? I think it's difficult, right? I think it takes a lot of practice, and I don't think everyone gets it right the first, second, or third time. But so I love it. Just really cool. Look, here's the Hermit, bro. I just, where's my favorite card? Maybe I already passed it, but here's a cool card that I like. I like the Eight of Swords and the Judgment card is really awesome. Just the fact that, who is this? Is this your higher self? Is this the universe? Is this source holding you, but also holding you accountable, right? Holding you and holding you accountable at the same time. Wonderful. I won't belabor it, but yeah, great deck. So that's the Tarot by Mansell. No, sorry, shoot, I'm mixing them up. See, Mansell's Tarot, Mansell's Tarot, first edition. The second tarot deck is called The Tarot by Mansell. That was a Kickstarter. Um, I have a feeling he produces all his decks through MPC. Absolutely no shade at all. I love MPC cardstock, but I don't think he discloses that really. But anyway, this is the Tarot by Mansell, in which if this is a straight Rider Waite Smith clone, you can tell by the uh, roses and lilies black backs that mimic the original 1909 roses and lilies backs, except the colors of African heritage are featured red, black, and green, that type of thing. And so these are definite clones of the Rider Waite Smith. Um, and they've been digitally illustrated. And I as soon as I started seeing him work on this, I immediately fell in love with the illustration, the illustrative style. Um, and for someone like, especially, I mean, reading for yourself, of course, but reading for others, if you have um, a predominantly Black or people of color um, readership or customer base, having decks like these are so fun and so wonderful to work with. It really surprises the reader. Um, and yeah, I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful, or the illustrations are beautiful. So, not much to really, showcase except for this wonderful line work. Again, this is digitally made. People were, I guess, accusing the artist of AI, but he showed his process um, on his Instagram, which I can feature below as well. The next deck I will grab is the Black Moon Lilith Oracle. Um, it is created, conceptualized, and written by Adama Sese with artwork by Carlos Fama. And I didn't get this deck for a while because the illustration style, like this kind of like mid 90s digital kind of aesthetic was happening. But I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But the more I just something changed my mind. I don't know what it was. Maybe I was like, I just want to try it out. I don't know, but I started to really appreciate the style of it and how different it is, but also the actual guidebook and the keywords. And so um, tapping into this energy of Black Moon Lilith through um, through an Afrocentric lens, you have that Afrofuturistic aspect there, which I'm always down for. And it goes through the planets. There's constellations. There are archetypal figures here. There's also alchemic processes that are featured here, that can happen on the spiritual level. So here, putrefaction, for example, separation, dissolution, right? Um, yeah, I like projection. And so, yeah, the illustration, you know, it's grown on me. It's grown on me. Um, yeah, so I think this is really cool. If you are into astrology, I feel like I am into astrology, but I rarely connect my understandings of astrology with my understanding of the tarot. And so I'm maybe that's something that I can work on this year is maybe doing more to integrate those two divination systems. I don't know if this counts, but whatever. I'm going to show it anyway. Miss Cleo's Power Deck. You know her, you love her. Hey, you maybe even miss her. Rest in peace, Miss Cleo. But you know, for those of you who may not know, Miss Cleo was one of the um, most what is it visible um, psychics in the what was it the 90s, perhaps 90s. She had her own uh, phone line, so you could call and get readings and things. She had a network of other psychics who were answering calls. Um, it is debatable whether Miss Cleo is actually a psychic. um, but she and whoever created her brand really milked it for everything. And she's one of the coolest icons of the 90s. Anyway, her company or the company that owns her intellectual property, um, they created a deck called Miss Cleo's Power Deck. And it's an Egyptian themed deck. I think this is the deck that Miss Cleo said she was using when she was doing her readings. The illustrations are very simple, very interesting too, kind of eclectic. Um, yeah, so it's designed and created by J.F. Lambert and Seth Stevens. So they had produced these, and this is actually really cheap on Amazon. It's always wavered between $5 and $7 um, on Amazon, and I think the reason why is not because it's a fake deck or anything, but because they have so much overstock. I don't know when I think they maybe published this in 2001. And I don't know what happened, but they all of a sudden either maybe dissolved the brand or whatever, but they had all of these decks. And now they're very cheap to get. So, look, I've always said if you want to start tarot and you don't know what deck to get, I was like, look, I'll buy you Miss Cleo's Power Deck. Like, I'll buy you three. You know, like you get a Miss Cleo, you get a Miss Cleo, you get a Miss Cleo, because they're so affordable. You know, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg when you're at least when you're first starting out. It's very Rider Waite Smith, um, and yeah, very simple scenery, right? Simple scenery. It does follow to a degree the color um, symbolism that's in the Rider Waite Smith, if that matters to you. But yeah, I love having this in my collection. Really cool. This Cleo's Power Deck. So the next deck that I have is the Afro Tarot. Let me see. Yes, here's the box. The Afro Tarot by Jesse Ujazi, another wonderful artist specializing in collage, created um, a tarot deck based on the RWS, featuring African imagery, uh, African photographs of people, places, tools to depict the meaning of the tarot. And immediately you're probably going to say, hey, that looks like, you know, Manzel's tarot. And it does. I feel like the styles are very similar. However, I feel that the Afro Tarot, I love this kind of pentacles. The Afro Tarot is less connected to the futurist aspect, and it's very grounded, very earthbound through the natural landscapes that you see here. Very um, saturated with soil and dirt and grass. So, and I love the elegant borders. It's very cool. And I believe this is still for purchase. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm sorry, y'all. I haven't checked. I haven't checked of any of these decks. um, but anyway, you get the point. The Afro Tarot by Jesse Ajazi. The Tarot of Bohemian Secrets. This is by this is a collaborative deck compiled, um, co-created by a photographer named Alice Smeets, and she collaborated with I think, yeah, she collaborated with a collective of Haitian artists to create a Rider Waite Smith themed deck using photography and recycled, upcycled, found objects. So their art is featured in the decks as the objects in the cards. Very, it's interesting, right? I think this used to be called the Ghetto Tarot. Um, and then I guess due to the sensitivities of that, um, they changed the name to Tarot Bohemian Secrets. But there's definitely like a ghetto component to it, right? Ghetto as in, you know, understanding the lack of resources, but using what you have to still create, right? To still do the thing. To me, that is the essence of ghetto, right? It's not just about poverty. It's about your resourcefulness, your resiliency, right? So they use themselves. These are the artists as the models, and the objects, the symbols, are their art. They made these, they made these things. They made the pentacles. So it's just a wonderful kind of treasure to have in the deck. Again, I haven't read with this in a very long time, but it's coming out this month. All right. So this baby is my deck that I use for most of my, like, when I read for other people, paid or unpaid or whatever. When I go and do tarot at events, this is what I use. This is the Comedic Tarot by Michael. Let me see. Jesus. Comedic Tarot by Michael. Michael Coles. Sorry, this is the Comedic Tarot by Michael Coles. This product comes with, and I do a full review, so I won't go too much into it. It's on my channel. But it has the deck, which is beautiful linen finish, gold, gold gilding. But it also has two books. One is the guidebook, of course, which is a very meaty guidebook. It talks about why it's an Egyptian themed deck, so it talks about its connections to Egyptian history and culture, who are the people in the images, that types of thing. And then there's a storybook that describes all of the stories related to Isis, or Osset, as she is called. It's the Kemetic tarot. So a lot of the names of the Egyptian gods in this deck um, are the Kemetic words for those names, and it's just I just yeah, like I love it. My spirit team loves it. Source, I guess, loves it. I don't think Source really cares, but like I love using this deck. Um, it's the color, the vibrancy, the clarity, um, and the imagery. It's just very rich in every way for me, and that is why I use it professionally the most. The deck and book set is is like $99 or something, like $90. So it was an investment. It was an investment, but it came with like a cool velvet bag and this like red jasper Isis knot that you could like a pendant that you could put on like a necklace or something. It was super cool. I lost that pendant. I'm really upset that I lost it, but it came with a lot. But I knew that this was going to be an investment, and I think it has paid itself back in a lot of ways. So I had some really fun times with this deck while reading for other people. So yeah, the Comedic Tarot. This one you've never seen on my channel. Let me take a sip. This one you've never seen on my channel. This is called the Onyx Tarot. No one ever puts their name on here. Ah, this is the Onyx Tarot by Sugar Taylor. And this is another collage deck um, by a tarot reader and creator. I first saw this deck on Robin's page. Oh my God, Robin's Reflections. She was showcasing it, I think, quite a while ago. This deck that she uses in the winter, because the palette is this kind of like I don't know, it's like a cool, kind of more muted tone. RWS, collage. And here's what I love about it that I think is different from my other Afrocentric collage decks. And a lot of the decks that I've shown so far that are of the collage style, a lot of times what you're going to see it are common images. They use similar sources or the same sources for their deck of photographs, found photographs and things like that. So you kind of see the same, or you kind of recognize the same figures and the same pictures from deck to deck that use collage style because there's limited media, right? That's available if you want to explore these themes. What Sugar Taylor has done is that she's incorporated just new models. Like these are models um, that she used to create these scenes. And so you're never gonna see these folks in this way um, on the internet, the way that you see like other like found sources, right? The black people in this deck, they are original unto themselves, and they are original to they're unique to this deck. Very simple, reads very clearly, very well. And there's some really interesting things that they do with their clothing, their hair, that I find very fun. Oof, the devil card gives you a lot to think about. Uh-oh, my significator, the Queen of Pentacles, she better work. Love it. It's just so cool. It's a cool deck. So, the Magician. Yes. So that is the Onyx Tarot by Sugar Taylor. The Afro Goddess Tarot Arcanas by Andrea Furtick. This was initially a independently made deck that is now out of print and hard to find, but I still kind of want. And this was created, then it became a mass market deck published through US Games. And I love that I have the mass market version. Of course, still looking for the OG version. Um, the cards are smaller but very manageable. I love the size of the cards. Um, and then the independent version is are larger with borders. And this also has like holographic finish, which I don't need it, but if you want it, sure. But beautiful, like I don't know, like really cool. Her art style is really bold and like full of itself. It's very like black woman, like sassy black woman kind of thing. Of course, being a goddess deck or a deck meant to uh, invoke that kind of divine energy. I think it shows very well through this deck. Man, I gotta use these decks. Like, I feel this is making me feel bad. I need to use these decks more, and I think that's like the downside of having a tarot collection is it's almost like you're spoiled for choice. So you don't make, or I don't make as much use of my collection as I would like because I am only one person with one brain and two hands and only 24 hours in a day. So, but anyway, again, very RWS. But the women, they're just like, they're baddies. The women in this deck, they're all baddies. They're all fly. Like, this deck is a confidence boost for sure. Like, look at Justice. She's like, hey, I'm giving justice. Sorry, y'all. Ooh, look at this Lovers. Oh, right out of a black romance novel. Anyway, cute deck. Love it. The Afro Goddess Tarot Arcanas by Andrea Burdick. This deck I have not opened in ages, but it is Tarot of the Moors by Gina Thies, who is an artist and tarot reader in the community. And this is a mass market deck. And, I don't, I mean, I think it's arguable whether this is considered like an Afrocentric deck, but the history of the Moors it's its own particular history within the umbrella, I would say, of African history and heritage. But it kind of captures the story of their culture and society and their their royalty, their power, right? Um, when they were at their peak. She painted all of these cards herself. Not much to say about it. Um, the terms that are used, I think it's pretty like thoth-ish with your prince, knight, that type of thing. Discs are pentacles, so it's thothy. Let me see a good one. Oh my god, the Lovers card in this one. Did I pass it already? Did I show it? This is Temperance. Man. Oh, Nine of Wands is good too. Like a gladiator waiting to fight. It's like, oh, just one more battle. So the term, so king is emir, Malika is queen, high priestess is called the Sibyl. Dang. You know what, y'all? I don't think. Yes. Oh, this is my favorite lovers. Oh, gosh. Absolutely beautiful. So, yeah, this Tarot of the Moors by Gina Thieves. So, this deck here I have in a bag, but it has like a box. But I believe, oh my God, this is Oracle of, Oracle of the Sibyl. Yes, Oracle of the Sibyl by Tiana McQuillar, who also created the Hoodoo Tarot. She created an Oracle deck that um, honors the legacy of the the Black Sibyls, who were these African, I guess, priestesses or spiritual figures, um, and were very renowned for their spiritual gifts. They were consulted and respected. And so, what you have here is an art style that um, mimics I guess, like a Roman Greco kind of tile mosaic like art. And the system is actually really great the system is actually really good too. Um, you have different colors. So this is like a black, this is like a copper, and there's like one with like a blue tint. I don't know, it's hard to explain. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a walkthrough. I'm gonna do the thing with this deck. I'm gonna do a video with just this deck because this has been a part of my practice the most consistently in the year of 2025. The most consistently, I will say that. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about it a little bit more at length, maybe in a separate video. But I love it. It's something. It's a deck that I use to connect to source, right? It's a deck where you feel, it gives you a feeling of feeling connected and in communication with the divine. The African American Tarot. This is published by Jamal, or created by Jamal R. Some people question whether Jamal R was a real person, but I think they are a real person. I feel like I came across an old out of print guidebook to the Kemetic Tarot because at first I thought that it didn't come with anything, but when you look through the deck, okay, the deck features um, images, scenes um, from stories in African folklore. So you would need to familiarize yourself with these stories. And the only way you can familiarize yourself is to read a guidebook. And I really do feel like there is a guidebook, like a large, like paperback book that goes with this deck. If I'm right, send me the link. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Um, and so, what I like about this deck is it really captures like what it means to be, I guess, African American. And when I say African American, I mean people who are the descendants of chattel slavery in America, in North America, in the United States, because the way that we connect to Africa as our ancestral place of origin is a way that I don't think any other ethnicity in the African diaspora does, where we have always had this yearning for our to know our roots, you know, as people of African descent, but also we are carving out our own distinct legacy here in the United States. And so what you see here is you have these scenes from African folklore, but then in the skies, in the distance, you have these contemporary scenes of 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 triumphs in musicianship, in science, in activism, um, in different aspects of African American culture. And so that's another thing too that, you know, I would love to find this legendary guidebook to really get an like I can make assumptions based on what I'm seeing, but to really get an understanding of the why behind the artistic choices in the deck. Oops, here we go. Ace. Beautiful. This hermit is absolutely cool. Love it. So this is the African American Tarot produced by Lo Scarabeo.
Sorry for the technical difficulty. Satu dropped her mic in a cup of coffee. Satu will be back with part 2 of Show and Tell with Afrocentric decks. Till next time, be well.